Live from Spooky Galaxy 17, this is Zlurp Zlorp!
And now, your host, the mysterious Madam Maxima von Metaverse.
Greetings, audience. I am the mysterious Madam Maxima von Metaverse. And you're watching Zlurp Zlorp, a 60-ish minute sci-fi entertainment game show. We are broadcasting live from an illegal satellite in an undisclosed location within Spooky Galaxy 17. Our show is so delightfully fun and galactically subversive that we've been deemed illegal to watch in 13 solar systems. In fact, if we're ever caught, we'll be arrested, tortured, and murdered by the Psychic Galaxy Police. Ooh, delicious. But don't worry, attractive audience. We continue to boost our signal, and we're reaching more planets than ever before. The Chunky Monkey Nebula can catch us on Channel 21. Planet 508 can now find us on Channel 805, and Planet Ranch can catch us by dipping carrot sticks into their ears. And, as always, Planet Earth can watch us live on Twitch on the second Wednesday of the month at 9 p.m. Anyway, Blordo, explain the interactive nature of our show.
Okay. Our show is only mildly interactive at the moment, primarily because we don't want to deal with unpleasant people in the chat. However, you can, in fact, put your emojis in the chat, and we may or may not reference what you do. But right now, people are annoying, so only use the chat to be nice. Back to you, Maxima.
Thank you, Blordo. If this is your first time watching us, welcome, enjoy, and get ready for pure science fiction chaos. Now, let's introduce our players for this week's show. First, we have everyone's favorite skeleton, Humerus.
Well, hello. I'm glad to be back and be representing my fellow undead brethren this evening.
And we're glad to have you back, Humerus. Next, we have Joy, she who cannot smile.
Your excitement makes me want to puke.
And your sadness and irritability makes me want to scream with joy. Next, we have Nana.
Nathaniel? Can you hear me? Nathaniel! I'm out of milk.
I'm sorry, Nana, I think you may be in the wrong place, but as we're short on players, you'll do. And finally, we have Willow, the depressed fairy.
My life has lost all meaning other than this game show, so I'm here to win or fall into deep, deep existential dread.
I would argue your life had little meaning before, but I'm glad that that will suffice. Now, Zlurp Zlorp is a different kind of game show. See, our players could win their biggest dreams or their worst nightmares. I know which one I'm looking forward to. Now, let's begin with our first round of games. Our first game is Strike a Pose Zombie Encounter. We will count down from 4, and players must strike a pose that they would make while encountering a zombie. They must hold that pose while I interview them and ask them about said figure. Get ready, players, to strike your zombie pose in 3, 2, 1. Strike a pose! Humerus, tell the wonderful audience a little about the pose you've selected.
Well, it's a little awkward because I have just realized that because of the semi-translucent nature of my body, you can't really see my pose, but my arms are extended toward my camera in a hug. Because you see, as a skeleton man, half of my family are zombies. So for me, a zombie apocalypse would just be a big old family reunion.
How charming, Humerus. Now, let's move on to our second player, Joy. Tell the audience a little bit about your zombie encounter pose.
I'm looking really close at the zombies because I don't understand how someone can eat so many brains and yet still be so unintelligent.
I agree with you. In fact, their unintelligence makes zombies some of my favorite lovers. That and the fact that if you accidentally decapitate them, they're still good to go. Next, Nana, tell us a bit about your pose and maybe why you're here.
Yeah, so I'm receiving the flambe. I think it will really be delicious, and I'm excited to try anything that you do.
Nana, may I ask where you think you are right now? And it appears her audio has left the building. Finally, Willow, show us your zombie encounter pose.
My arms are outstretched to welcome zombie and shuffle off this mortal coil at last.
Excellent. Those were all wonderful poses, players. Congratulations on your first game. And Nana, I hope you figure out something of use to us anytime soon. I enjoyed your flambe, but it is Joy who took this round by reminding me of the dim-wittedness of my former zombie lovers and paramours. That's 1 point to you, Joy. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Meh.
Just as I suspected. Players, our next game is the upsetting debate, a favorite here at Zlurp Zlorp. Our first debate will be between players Humerus and Willow. Prepare yourselves. The topic, babies are scarier than zombies. That's right, babies, scarier, zombies. A player who wants to jump in first can pick their side and make their case.
Well, I just gotta start off by saying that babies, too much skin. I personally cannot trust a person where you can't see what's going on inside. Now, a zombie, they got chunks of flesh falling off, not as good as a fully out there skeleton, such as myself, of course, but they're getting there. There's progress. You can see the structure. Babies, who knows what's going on in there? They're just they're a little squishy. And they send me into an existential spiral when I start to think of what might be going on inside their little sacks of skin.
I have to disagree with you. I think zombies are much scarier than babies. Let me ask you this. Can you drop kick a zombie? Not all of them. You can drop kick a baby pretty easily. I've done it before. Some of them have gotten too close to my tree. Far easier to deal with. Really just not that strong. Like you said, they are squishy. Squishy. Squishy's not tough.
Well, I would say that if anyone who says that they can't drop kick certain zombies just has a quitting attitude. And let me tell you this, zombies, pretty widely accepted that they're not supposed to bite you. Babies, you're apparently supposed to let them gnaw on you all day long, and that's just fine. There are some sizable divots in my shin bone where a certain baby got too close and decided I was a teething tool, and I did not appreciate that breach of social conduct. Zombies, they will just try to kill you, but if you put up a spiky fence and run away fast enough, they'll respect the boundary.
I do want to acknowledge, I'm so sorry a baby chewed on your humerus. Really just another reminder of the scourge that mankind is on the galaxy, but not baby kind, really. I mean, let's think about zombies again. They bite you, they rip you off chunk by chunk by chunk by chunk. You feel yourself being eaten alive. A baby might bite you, but it's not going to eat you. And tell me, would you rather be bit or slowly torn apart and eaten alive?
Well, I was never alive to begin with, so that's not really a problem for me, personally.
Use your imagination, though. Which is worse?
All right, players, we are getting mired in technicalities. I have to tell you, I am very disappointed with all this talk of baby kicking and baby biting. It's just not right. I'm absolutely kidding. I'm a maniac. Willow, tell me, what is the furthest that you have kicked a baby?
was like there's a cute little pond, and I kicked it halfway into the pond, and it was a pretty good sized pond. So I don't know, 30 feet.
I have to tell you, Willow, 30 feet outpaces my record by a good 5 feet. I respect you and your efforts.
It's amazing what some fairy dust can do.
You're telling me. And for that, Willow, you gain the point and win this first upsetting debate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We will now move on to the final game of our first round, Zombie Apocalypse Love Poem. It should be fairly self-explanatory, but for Nana's benefit, I will explain. Players must write and recite a love poem to their favorite zombie character. Classical forms, sonnet, limerick, etc. are encouraged. I will give the players a mere 5 seconds to devise a poem before I call upon you to deliver it. Zombie Apocalypse Love Poem. I have to tell you, viewers, I have gotten mired in memories of my former undead lovers. There was one, Terry. They wanted to eat me alive, but I switched the tables on them, ate them alive, and still left enough to get the job done. Now, players, before I am completely overwhelmed with amour, we will begin with our first poem from Humerus Phalangen.
Well, thank you, Maxima. This poem is dedicated to the star of the pinnacle of zombie cinema, and that would be R from the movie Warm Bodies. It is a fantastic romantic comedy. If you haven't checked it out, highly recommended it. But I digress. This will be in sonnet form, in deference to the fact that the movie is a zombie apocalypse adaptation of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Lives in an airplane, hoodie colored red, eats brains for the pleasure and not the nutrish. Turns out you can come right back from the dead if a human lady thinks you're delish. Sure, you ate her boyfriend that one time, but you felt bad, and don't that make it good? She was sad, but then forgave you fine, much faster, frankly, than some say she should. Through the power of love, the zombies saved, except the ugly ones, but meh, who cares? The years of war and loss of those so brave ended by a dead guy with dreamy hair. Who knew the single perfect zombie mate would later play the Emperor in The Great?
Thank you very much, Humerus, for a well-researched and incredibly long piece of poetry. Next, Joy.
This is a haiku I wrote to all of zombie kind because I feel about them the same way that I feel about everybody, which is that I hate them. Zombie, oh zombie, how can you be so stupid? Eating brains is dumb. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Nana, what have you cooked up for us?
What a fun treat. Zombie? 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 Zombie. Zombie? Zombie?
Thank you, Nana. I have to inform you that I toured with the Cranberries in the 90s, and your blatant ripping off of their song lyrics to the classic Zombie are not appreciated. Next, Willow.
This poem is dedicated to all of the mushroom zombies in The Last of Us. Mushrooms, oh mushrooms, how I adore you. But alas, you cannot walk, you cannot run. But here we see the perfect breed, a fungi that can walk. You may be missing pieces of your body, but you're a hottie.
Thank you, Willow. And thank you to all the players who gave us such incredible works of art. I will also acknowledge that Nana was present. But I have to say that Humerus is the far and away winner of this round, and because I respect poetry, they receive 1.5 points. Now, Lauder, where does that leave us at the end of our first round of play?
Okay, so it's a very unique situation, and by unique I mean very uninteresting, and here we go. Every single player has 1 point and is tied, except for Nana, who has 0 points, and are you really that surprised? Because I'm not. That's it.
Incredible. Thank you, Blordo. I would like you to add that half point I gave to Humerus for my respect for the arts, which does nudge them slightly ahead. But as
Oh,
we
I'm
know,
sorry I didn't hear you say that.
That's fine,
I'm in
Blordo. I don't
tremendous
need
pain and my
excuses.
eardrops are not working right now.
That's because I swapped them with my own secret formula. I want you to feel the pain that I do in being associated with you. And moving swiftly along, we will now go to our social media hostbot segment, where we will plead to audiences to finally respect this free entertainment we give you every single month. Take it away.
Hi everyone, it's me, Hostbot. Sometimes when I'm here on Zlurp Zlorp, I'm here to tell you about social media. And sometimes I'm here to ask you to give us money. For example, via our PayPal link, www.paypal.me/zlurpzlorp. But honestly, sometimes I think I'm talking to no one because nobody sends us any money and nobody follows us on social media. And honestly, sometimes I just think I'm a big failure and I should be dismantled and sent to the failure planet. Well, anyway, this was me, Hostbot, saying any help you can give me would be really nice, but if not, it's okay. I understand. I'm used to it. Okay. Back to you, Maxima. Bye.
Thank you, Hostbot, for that rousing call to action. I will let you know we did try to send you to the failure planet, but unfortunately their delivery systems failed. I guess they didn't really see the irony in that, and it's a whole paperwork issue. Players, never mind. We're on our second round of gameplay, and I'm hoping that something interesting will happen anytime soon. We start with our first game, Current Events on Planet Meep-Mlorp. This is a buzz-in style trivia game. I won't call on you. You will buzz in using whatever sound you think appropriate, maybe one that represents you, your greatest fears, or your desperation to win this game. You will buzz in, and you will answer with the wackiest answer possible. Our first question. Meep-Mlorp's southern continent recently had a zombie disaster. Why did it happen?
I
Yes.
have to speak.
Well, we'll let Humerus answer and then you, Joy, and we'll see who's closest.
Thank you, Maxima. If I remember correctly from watching more news, I believe that it was caused by a just devastating outbreak of bunny zombies that escaped from the factory and just infected everybody with their lettuce-eating habits, getting in all the lettuce and infecting everybody, and just tragedy.
And Joy, what say you?
It was actually because the zombies ate the brains of Andrew Tate, and that was a bad idea all around.
Absolutely correct, Joy. The zombies ate the brains of Andrew Tate and things just got weirder. Now, a second question. The zombie disaster was quickly taken care of. How did they do it?
Buzz,
Yes, Willow.
they deconstructed toxic masculinity.
That is absolutely right. A surprisingly simple thing to do, they found out, if they actually bothered to try at all. Once their zombie incident was over, how did Meep-Mlorp celebrate?
Excuse me.
Yes, Nana.
I don't want to complain, but the potatoes are a little bit cold. I'm not saying it's your fault, and I don't mind. I just wanted to let you know.
Nana, I am deeply confused, but also more confused by the fact that you are completely right. There was a potato celebration, shortly followed by, well, I'll leave that to the last question. What horrible thing happened at Zulipoop Farm?
Beep.
Yes, Willow.
Several plants came to life and began just pooping everywhere. Plant poop, which is even grosser than normal poop. And from that poop, more sentient plants arised, and it was a massacre.
It absolutely was. So at the end of our buzz-in trivia game, that is 1 point to Joy, 2 points to Willow, and 1 point inexplicably to Nana, who has complaints about the potatoes, but still is seemingly eating them. Great. Munch away, Nana. We will now move on to our upsetting debate, round 2. This will be Humerus versus Nana. Your topic: fast zombies are more fun than slow zombies. That is, fast zombies are more fun than slow zombies. Begin the debate when you choose a side.
I just gotta say, as someone who has no muscles to speak of any kind, I just have to say I appreciate a slow zombie better than a fast zombie. You can make a little amble through the woods as you escape with your life, and eventually you can maybe play a little game where you walk a little bit and the zombie follows you, and then you walk a little bit and then the zombie follows you. It really just extends the fun for the whole situation.
You'll have to speak up, darling. I'm having a bit of trouble understanding you. Because from all the way up here, I'd say it's a lot of fun to be chased around. My late husband Ephraim used to chase me around the living room, and I'd go, "Ew, Ephraim!" and he'd run after me. Oh, joyous times. And now, my grandson Nathaniel, oh, he's the strongest boy in the universe. He can lift an entire gallon of milk. He loves to run.
Well, your grandson sounds like a lovely person, Nana. I'd love to meet him someday. But as I'm sure he's great at running, and I'm sure your husband Ephraim was also great at running. When you think about it, zombies running, they're gonna fall apart. And then what's the point in having an apocalypse if a zombie runs so fast and then they catch their rotting flesh on a tree branch and then all of a sudden they don't got no arms or legs no more? There might as well be no zombies to begin with. Now, if a slow zombie takes its time and shuffles along in a nice, respectable, traditional horde the way zombie got intended, then they could stay all in one piece and live to haunt humanity for their crimes another day.
Now, darling, I don't love to argue, but Sarah Lee, who lives 2 doors down, and she makes the most incredible tarts you've ever tasted. She'll do cherry, she'll do strawberry. My God, I've got to get her recipe. But she's missing a leg, and she's a hoot and a half.
Well, her tarts sound amazing.
Oh,
If
they
you get
are.
that recipe, I'd love it if you'd be able to share that with
All
me.
right, players. Now we're for some reason speaking about recipes. Humerus, you had some wonderful gory imagery, so you get the point. But Nana, I'm going to give you a chance to maybe make up for your poor showing and remember why you're here. Maybe someone invited you. Maybe someone you used to know as Nathaniel, who was a shapeshifter that now is another persona. Anyway, let's keep playing. You will give us a recipe for cooking brains. An exciting recipe. Points for creativity. Tell us how you, Nana, seeing as you're so fond of Sarah Lee, would cook brains.
Well, between us birds, I'd have to say if you saute the brains in a caramelized butter sauce. Now, this is just between us. Fresh brains are the best. Any sort will do, but we always got the monkey brains. I'm winking. But caramelize in a brown butter. Oh, and top it off with a nice bit of parsley, just for some flourish. on the side. The sides are the most important part. Everybody knows any dinner, the sides are the most important part. You can write that down. Remember that. Did you write it?
Yes, Nana, I wrote it. Thank you
Good.
for your recipe. Thank you very much. Caramelized does sound nice. Before we move on to our next game, I am wondering what Joy would do to cook brains. Tell me what's going on in your twisted mind.
My recipe simply has 3 steps: eating vegetables, reading a book, going outside and touching grass. Anecdotally, that is a great way to make your brain not stupid.
An excellent interpretation of that question. And for that, you gain a point. And Nana, seeing as you answered, you will get half. Now, players, we will move on to the final game of this round, Bad Zombie. This is a variation on the improvisation game World's Worst. Players must imagine they are bad zombies who are very bad at their jobs. They must then say the hilariously worst things possible that prove just how bad they are at this profession. We will go in your normal order of Humerus, Joy, Nana, and Willow. And the first bad profession I want you to imitate is a bad zombie surfer.
Well, they said I had to hang 10, but I lost a couple toes in the chase back there, so will a hang 7 work?
Is the board upside down, or am I upside down?
I watched that movie Jaws once. Very scary ocean stuff.
Waves.
Next, give us a bad zombie chef.
Well, I can't find Sarah Lee's recipe for sauteed brains anywhere.
I'm actually allergic to brains, so I don't know who's going to cook your food today.
Is it craft evening? Are we crafting?
The health department is shutting us down again. Apparently, they found salmonella in all the brain and body parts. So we're done, guys. Go home.
Excellent. Next, a bad zombie telemarketer.
And if you could just give me your credit card information and the numbers on the bet. Hello? Hello?
Is your refrigerator running? If it is, you better go catch it, because your brains are getting away, and they're gonna rot, and then you'll have nothing to eat, and then you'll die a horrible, starving death.
I'm calling to see if you'd like to buy any handkerchiefs. The thing you can make from an old shirt.
Look, ma'am, I don't know how to tell you this. I think you should become a zombie. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. You can say, oh, I don't want to be undead all you want. You should do it. Do not hang up on me.
Next, a bad zombie barista.
I got an order for... Sir, your name is not... Wait your turn.
What do you mean you didn't order a pumpkin spice latte? What do you mean we only serve brains? Wait, I'm very confused.
I'd only drink tea now. I'm sorry. I might have to sit this one out.
Stop complaining about how long it's taking to make your coffee. I'm slow. I walk slow. You'll get it. calm down, or leave.
All right, players. Fantastic work. Because this was a longer game than usual, I will be giving out 2 points to our winner. And for their commitment to character, bordering on essential monology work for every response, 2 points go to Willow. Congratulations, Willow. You really got into those characters there. Now, Hostbot, where does that leave us at the end of our second round?
You wanna talk to Hostbot? Am I fired? I thought I was
Well, Glodo, I was hoping that he wouldn't make the same mistakes you had, but if Hostbot isn't around, I guess we can go with you.
Yeah, Hostbot is in another room crying about their inability to get people to follow us on social media. I don't know why they even bother. Nad has 1.5 points somehow. Humerus, very close to Nad, quite a problem, 2.5 points. Joy, doing a little better with 3 points, but Willow is in the lead with 5 points. That's it.
Ah, excellent. Thank you, Blordo. But remember, players, in Zlurp Zlorp, anything can happen, and winning might not necessarily be your best objective. So today we are introducing a new live segment on Zlurp Zlorp called Terrifying Laser Spotlight. This is a chance to put our players on the spot and ask them a few questions that you've been dying to hear the answers for. And today we're pointing the terrifying laser spotlight on Nana and Willow. Okay, here we go. Nana, if you could start a war, who would you start a war with and why?
Ronald Reagan. What a bastard.
Next, Joy, what's your preferred method to assassinate a galactic dictator?
A really intense stare.
And next, Willow, which player do you plan to backstab?
Nana, I feel she just represents everything about humanity that I despise.
Joy, which player do you plan to form an alliance with?
None of them. They all seem incredibly stupid.
And finally, Nana, Willow, Joy, Humerus, what are lasers made of?
Dreams.
Dreams.
The screams of the innocent.
I complained about the potatoes, but the macaroni and cheese is just divine.
There you are. That was our terrifying laser spotlight. I feel like I have learned so much more about how little I want to know about all of you. Now, for our third round of gameplay, we will be playing the Zombie Apocalypse competitive fan fiction game. Players will take turns telling a story about zombies. Each player will have 30 seconds to make their contribution and then pass it on to the next player. This will go on for as many rounds as you may hold my interest. I can interfere, offer suggestions, or even request a sequel. Points will be rewarded in various ways, and some of them may lead to an incredibly terrible fate. So give us your best with your 30-second contributions in order to our zombie apocalypse fan fiction. Let's begin with you, Humerus.
Gladly. Once upon a zombie time, the woods were dark and crooked and claggy, but in these woods was a small but merry band of zombies. Joe Zombie, Bob Zombie, and Rob Zombie. They faced the world with undeterred determination and so declared that today would be the day that they finally got their hands on some well-earned brains.
Joy.
Sometime in the hopefully near future, the zombies will wipe out all of the humans, except for me. And when it's just me and the zombies, I will take them under my care. And by care, I mean control. We will rebuild the planet. We will have all the oceans back to where they're supposed to be, maybe even put Pangea back together. And once I have the perfect planet, I will get rid of all the zombies and I will live by myself in perfect harmony. Thank you.
Nana, how will you unite these disparate stories and continue our shared narrative?
And then Rob Zombie, who was also a drummer, did a rat-a-tat-tat-tat on a nice little friend zombie. And they fell in love. And now the two zombies are in love. And while they're in love, they're
Willow?
But the zombies' love was no match for the humans that would come with their pitchfork and fire. They would burn everything down, and all of the zombies' dreams of recreating Pangea, of playing the drums, of falling in love and having a happy life would come to a violent and sudden end when a single arrow went through each of their heads. The last thought any of them had before they were killed was, I did nothing in my first life, and even as an undead, I achieved nothing. What has this all been for?
Humerus, please continue our story.
And as the woods went silent, as the four, including Rob Zombie's love interest, hit the ground, at first the humans were happy that the zombies were gone. But then the terrible realization of their deed came upon them as they realized they had just wiped out an entire species. And this was the folly of humanity, that their hubris prevented them from accepting the evolution and natural course of the planet's lifespan. And despair washed over the group as they cried out their folly to the universe.
What happened next, Joy?
Well, then they went back to their nature and remembered that they don't care about anyone else except themselves, and immediately forgot that they committed genocide and continued on about their merry ways.
Nana?
But what they didn't remember is that zombies are, by Webster's definition, undead, or to have been dead and brought back. And therefore the zombies that they had thought they had killed simply rose again to be zombie squared, except that bitch Mary who lives in 2D, she remained dead and fucking dismembered.
Willow, bring us home.
As the zombies squared sought their revenge, they marched on the first human city they found. And in they went, and they ate, and they ate, and they ate, and they ate brains until their bellies were full. And they wiped out humanity, and from them, a new, stronger, zombie country was born. And they knew this was just the beginning of the conquest. One day, the zombies would walk among the stars themselves and make everything undead.
Fantastic, players. Now, I've heard all I need to. I've decided which awards to give to whom, but to leave our audience on a little cliffhanger, we'll interrupt this game with one last upsetting debate. It will be between Joy and Willow, and the subject will be: a zombie apocalypse is worse than an Easter Bunny apocalypse. Choose your sides and begin, Joy and Willow, when you are ready.
Easter bunnies are so scary. They're full of color. Nobody likes that. Why are they so big? We don't need more than one. We don't even need one. Terrifying.
I'm gonna have to say I strongly disagree with you. Zombies are significantly scarier because they are part human. Bunnies, on the other hand, are just bunnies. I love bunnies. I used to ride on the back of a bunny before they all died from overhunting. So I don't think I would have any issues in a bunny apocalypse, but a zombie apocalypse would be different because we still have to deal with humans. And Joy, I think you and I can both agree we don't like humans, right? So zombie, by that very definition, would be worse than a bunny apocalypse.
I will concede that I don't like humans. However, I feel that as a fairy, a zombie's probably not going to eat your brain because it is scientifically just smaller. However, a bunny, a zombie bunny, seems like something you should be a little more scared of. Just saying.
Ooh, I do have to concede that point. A zombie bunny would be scary, but not as scary as a zombie person. I'm really good at flying. I could fly away from a zombie bunny. But zombie humans, they're taller. Do they have zombie planes? Do they have zombie machine guns? Do they have zombie oil barons? If we have a zombie apocalypse, we have all the same problems we have with humans right now, plus they're trying to eat you. Zombie bunnies, even if that did happen, at least they're bunnies. At least we are bringing back a species that is on the brink of extinction. And I personally do not find that scary. I welcome that. I think it's important.
However, zombies, while they may have once been human, they are only concerned with brains. They do not care and do anything against global warming. They don't care about oil rigs. I don't even know if they know how to work an oil rig. Bunnies, giant bunnies, unpredictable. I feel like zombies would be much easier to control than giant bunnies.
I'm going to have to strongly disagree with you there. I mean, I think bunnies, look, I've known a lot of bunnies. I'm friends with many bunnies. They're pretty easy to get along with. You can tame one, you give it some carrots, you talk to it in rabbit tongue a little bit, and you're best friends. Even if it were a zombie bunny, I feel confident I could still befriend that. But again, we can barely control humans now. I understand your point of saying, they're just zombies now, all they want is brains. But we don't know that humans are unpredictable and terrifying. And personally, I don't want to have to deal with humans that you have to kill more than once. It's a big enough pain. You have to kill them one time already. 2 times, that is insane. The bunnies, you give them some carrots, you're good to go. They don't have complex needs. They just want to be able to be bunnies.
All right, players. Willow, you sold us a terrifying reality of humanity at its worst, betrayed by capitalist instincts, but then also undead. Joy, I have to agree with you. Bunnies, they're just unpredictable. That's 1 point to you, Joy. And now we return to our zombie apocalypse competitive storytelling. I will tell you the results. Firstly, we have the Brains Award for Best Storytelling. By establishing our Bravamistico cast and by continuing the story going, I will give this point, 5 of them in fact, to Humerus Phalangen. Congratulations, the Brains Award for Best Storytelling. Next, we have the Heart Award for Best Characters. Now, this one is based on a bit of a bias of my own. By inserting themselves into the narrative and naming themselves as a character in the story, the Best Characters Award goes to Joy, who receives 3 points. Now, the Liver Award for Weirdest Choices was a tricky one, but by introducing the concept of zombie nationalism, I'm sorry, Zombies might be brain dead, but they're not as stupid as humans are, and nationalism is not something they could ever agree to enforce. So, Willow, the liver award for weirdest choices goes to you, which leaves the You Got Bit award for least alive choices. For invoking Webster's Dictionary in an exciting apocalyptic storytelling competition, Nana gets the You Got Bit award. And she will now immediately be turned into, how apropos, a literal zombie. Zombie ray activate! Nana, say goodbye to what shreds of personality or energy you may have had, because now you will transform into a zombie. Nana, how do you feel after your transformation?
Will you tell Nathaniel that I don't think I'll be having seconds on pudding tonight?
Well, I don't know why I wasted my one-time use zombie ray on a woman who was already the Walking Dead. Now, before I ask for scores, I will give you one final chance to even the playing field by haggling for points. This is a free-form round where any player can offer any services, goods, or hidden secrets on government infrastructure that might be useful to a certain host in exchange for more points. You can trade them with each other, give them all up, do what you will. Now, players, haggle for points.
I think I can offer you a really great service. I don't know. You probably know how to make poisons, Maxima. That's the vibe I get from you. But do you know how to make them from nature? I can teach you. I can teach anyone how to find the deadliest flowers in nature, the deadliest mushrooms that can kill someone with just a tiny bite. And I think that service is invaluable.
Duly noted. Any other players want to haggle with me or the other players for their points?
Well, not above appealing to your lust for power, Maxima. I mentioned at the beginning of the show that some of my family members are, in fact, zombies. I neglected to mention that I am, in fact, the third cousin 4 times removed of the king of the planet Zombieland. He's a nice guy, very nice guy. Honestly, though, not a great leader. Easily manipulated, easily swayed by a beautiful face, if I do say so myself. Let me just say that a service I can offer you is a +1 into the hottest balls and political seances of the planet Zombieland. And for the small price of a few extra points and having to spend about an hour of your free time with me, you could get right into the political epicenter of one of the most powerful undead kingdoms in the known universe.
I do not haggle because it is beneath me, but I will offer a bit of truth. While I do hate all of you so incredibly much, Maxima, I do think that I hate you the least. Don't repeat that, though.
I won't, Joy. This is definitely not a publicly broadcast situation. Nana?
I'm working on knitting you a scarf. And if you look in your jacket pocket, I've slipped a crisp $20 bill. Don't tell your mother. Take a hard candy for the road, darling, and drive safe.
Oh, Nana. No one's ever knitted me a scarf before. That means a great deal. I'm giving you 3 points. And an extra 2 for the crisp 20. 5 points to Nana, no points to anyone else. Now, where do we stand, Hostbot, at the end of our rounds of gameplay? Who will be moving on to our final game? Zlurp or Zlorp? Sorry, Blordo, I know you're the one giving the scores. I'm just so used to Hostbot.
Hi, Maxima. Yes, it's me, Blordo, giving the scores. Yes, you are used to HostBot. I bet you're used to your scripts being so nice and easy. Did you notice any typos tonight, making it harder for you to interview the players? Well, let's just say I may have had something to do with those script mistakes.
What a shocking surprise. I'm sure whether intentionally or not, Blordo has found a new way to ruin our show. Just tell us the points.
Okay, the points were a lot closer than I expected, and everyone got many more points than I expected. Nana somehow had 6.5 points. Joy has 7 points. Humerus has 7.5 points. But ultimately, our winner tonight is Willow with 8 points. Willow, congratulations, and also, I'm so sorry. I hope you make it out alive or not.
There you are. Willow, how do you feel being our winning player of the night?
I feel pretty excited. I think I said before, I have lost all meaning to my life, so winning is all that's left. And I just want to say it has really been a joy to get to spend time with all of you, other than Nana, because Nana, you're a human. The rest of you, we all hate humans, and it's just nice to find other people who I share that in common with. So happy to compete against all of you. It's an honor.
Nana, do you have anything to say to that and the fact that you're now a losing literal zombie?
That was going to be my point. There's a little card on the back of the wall that just says, "You are now a zombie and you have dementia." I don't know what either of those mean, but it felt important.
Joy, how does it feel to have lost Zlurp Zlorp?
Honestly, I just really want to dissect Nana's brain, so I'm not too concerned right at this moment.
Well, with a spare 2 or 3 seconds, it should be fairly easy to dissect whatever's left in there. Humerus, what say you?
I think that everyone did a great job tonight, and though I did not win, I think a respectable second place will be a great honor to take home to the hordes of undead that make up my family tree.
That's the spirit, Humerus. Now, before we go on to Zlurp Zlorp and Willow chooses their prize, I would like to introduce this week's musical guest. This month, it's a public domain holiday song from Earth Year 1912. Please enjoy.
Young Johnny Jones, he had a cute little boat, and all the girlies he would take for a float. He had girlies on the shore, sweet little peaches by the score. But Johnny was the Weisenheimer, you know. His steady girl was Flo, and every Sunday afternoon she'd jump in his boat and they would spoon. And then he'd row, row, row. Way up the river he would row, row, row. A hug he'd give her then, he'd kiss her now and then. But she would tell him when. He'd fool around, and then they'd kiss again. And then he'd row, row, row. A little further he would row. Oh, 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 oh. Then he'd drop both his oars and take a few more encores. Then he'd row, row, row. Right in his boat he had a cute little seat, and every kiss he stole from Flo was so sweet. And he knew just how to row. He was a rowing Romeo. He knew an island where the trees were so grand. He knew just when to land. Then tales of love he'd tell to Flo until it was time for them to go. And then he'd row, a row, a row. Way up
end of that musical number, but I thought I wanted to say something real important because I spent a lot of this episode in another room crying, and I thought it was important for me to end on a real positive note. And that note is our next episode will be Wednesday, May 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's it. What a nice, positive, wonderful thing that we're going to have another episode on Wednesday, May 10th. Hope to see you there. Back to you, Maxima.
Thank you, HostBot. After a whole evening of calling your name erroneously, it's nice for you to finally pull it together and give us the great news. We'll see all of you there on May the 10th, the second Wednesday of next month. But before we do, we have to choose our final prize. Now, Willow, what is your greatest dream? What would be the best thing you could receive from winning tonight's episode?
Ooh, that's a great question. I honestly, a sentient plant that eats humans, so kind of like a Venus flytrap situation, but large and can walk and just devours humans on sight. I mean, that would be really life-changing for me.
I mean, I have 3 downstairs. You could have just asked me. But what would be your worst nightmare if you chose the wrong door tonight?
Ooh, I think probably just a bunch of people spraying aerosols into the air, killing the ozone layer. That haunts my nightmares.
All right. I hope you get that one. Now close your eyes, Willow, and picture 2 doors in front of you. One marked door 1 and the other marked door 2. You approach them both, but can only open one. Which number do you choose?
Door 1.
There you have it. Door 1 swings open, and behind it is your prize. You will receive 500 cans of Cheese Whiz. Congratulations, Willow. How do you feel to be the owner of 500 cans of Cheese Whiz?
You know, it is a human invention and it is full of preservatives that are hurting the environment. So, gonna be honest, not thrilled. I definitely think this show needs to reflect on its carbon footprint, but I'm sure I'll find some use for them.
Fantastic. And remember, if you do miss the delivery window, we will use tons and tons of carbon to fly it between solar systems to the local USPS facility and then come back the next day at an appropriately inappropriate time. That's it for all of our players tonight. Congratulations, Willow, on winning your Cheese Whiz, and congratulations to the rest of the players for making it through relatively unscathed. Let's say goodbye to our wonderful viewers. And until next time, you have watched Zlurp Zlorp, an incredible game show with a gorgeous host and some inept administrative members. Say goodbye, players. Goodbye.
Goodbye, players.
Suck it, Mary.
What?
See you next time, May the 10th. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.